Let's go Browns! The quarterback controversy in Cleveland has taken a radical turn, and what's happening behind the scenes could change everything for the Browns. Dillon Gabriel's starting position is rapidly fading, and the pressure to release Shedeur Sanders is reaching a breaking point. The offense is stagnant, the fans are restless, and the front office, watching it all in silence. But here's the twist. Internal trade talks, rumors swirling around elite wide receivers, and a move that could shock the entire league. This isn't just another week in Browns territory. This could be the defining moment of the season. Will Kevin Stefanski finally deliver the final blow? Will the Browns trade a defensive pillar for a superstar weapon? And what happens if Sanders steps in and ignites the spark we've all been waiting for? Before we continue, like if you're ready for Sanders to take over. Comment and let us know who you trust more, Gabriel or Shedeur. Well, let's get right to it. The problem is deeper than just a conservative quarterback. This offensive scheme is asleep at the wheel. The Browns have the talent. They have a defense playing championship caliber football. They even have a solid run game behind Quentin Judkins, who's been facing more stacked boxes than anyone in the NFL and still producing. But the offense? It's flat. It's uninspired. It's cautious to a fault. And at some point, you have to ask, is it the quarterback or is it Kevin Stefanski? Cleveland's head coach is catching heat again, and rightfully so. We've seen a revolving door of quarterbacks under Stefanski. Since 2020, he cycled through 10 different starters: Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, P.J. Walker, and the list goes on. And while Baker found success in 2020 and Flacco had a solid stint in 2023, the consistent thread has been inconsistency at the most important position. Fans are growing restless, and there's a valid question on the table. Is this system setting these quarterbacks up to fail? Stefanski defenders point to the injuries and the constant QB turnover, but the truth is undeniable. The Browns haven't developed a legitimate long-term quarterback under this regime. Now, with Gabriel looking more like a game manager than a game changer, and Shedeur Sanders waiting in the wings, the pressure's cranked to a new level. Sanders is not just a flashy name. He's practicing on his off days. He's putting in the work. The swagger is real, but it's backed by a drive to be great. This isn't Johnny Manziel 2.0. This is a young player hungry to prove he belongs, and Cleveland might be on the brink of handing him the keys. And here's the thing. The buzz around trading for a wide receiver only adds fuel to the fire. Garrett Wilson? A.J. Brown? These aren't just rumors. They're real discussions in Brown circles. Garrett Wilson is clearly frustrated in New York, and the fit in Cleveland makes too much sense. He's a former Buckeye. He's explosive. He's the kind of weapon that could immediately transform this offense and give whoever is under center, Gabriel, Sanders, or someone else, the kind of elite target Cleveland has been lacking. The current WR group isn't cutting it. Jerry Jeudy has dropped off. Bond showed promise but saw his snap count plummet. The Browns desperately need a spark. And then there's the blockbuster rumor, Denzel Ward for A.J. Brown. It sounds insane on the surface. Ward is elite. He's a homegrown, shutdown cornerback. But A.J. Brown is the kind of offensive firepower this team doesn't have. The Eagles reportedly aren't shopping him yet, but the frustration is there. Brown posted, "Using me but not using me," on Instagram. That's not subtle. And Philly needs help at corner. It's a match that makes sense for both sides, but it's also the kind of high-risk, high-reward move that could blow up either way. Do you trade one of your defensive anchors to gamble on reviving your offense? And if you're leaning yes on giving Shedeur Sanders the nod, you're not alone. Across the fan base, there's a groundswell forming. It's not just about potential anymore, it's about urgency. This team has a window. The defense is elite. Myles Garrett is wrecking game plans every week. The secondary, led by Denzel Ward, unless he gets traded, has been smothering. The front seven is physical, smart, and opportunistic. You cannot waste a defense like this. You cannot continue to trot out an offense that refuses to push the ball downfield and expect to win consistently in the AFC North. The crazy part? We're still just 2 games back from first place in the division. That's right. Despite all the quarterback chaos and offensive struggles, the Browns are in striking distance. A win over the Patriots puts this team right back in the thick of the race. But that win isn't coming with a conservative game plan and a check-down-heavy attack. It's going to take a bold move. It's going to take trusting the rookie you drafted because of his potential to be the guy. And speaking of bold moves, let's not gloss over the receiver situation again. Garrett Wilson, if made available, would be a dream addition. The frustration he's feeling in New York is obvious, and honestly, can you blame him? Playing with subpar quarterback play while watching your career stall has to be maddening. But here's the kicker. Put Wilson in Cleveland with a quarterback who can get him the ball, and he immediately becomes the focal point of an offense that desperately needs one. It could reignite his career and open up everything else. Judkins gets more space. The defense can't stack the box, and the pressure on a young QB drops significantly. That's the kind of playmaker Shedeur Sanders needs on the field with him. If you're going to hand the ball to your rookie, give him the tools to succeed. And while we're talking about weapons, don't forget about the offensive line issues. The Browns are thin up front. Multiple linemen are on expiring deals. That's another spot that needs real investment in the offseason, or even now, because no matter who's under center, if he's running for his life, this offense is going nowhere fast. There's also been talk of the Browns possibly drafting another quarterback next year. Names like Dante Moore and Mendoza are popping up in mock drafts. But think about that for a second. You just drafted 2 rookies. You haven't even let Sanders see the field yet. Why would you even consider drafting another QB before evaluating the ones you already have? It's madness. Let the kid play. See what you've got, then reassess. That's how smart front offices do it. And let's be honest here, part of the fan frustration isn't just about Gabriel or Stefanski. It's about the feeling of spinning in circles. It's about years of hoping and waiting and watching quarterbacks come and go. The Browns have invested high draft picks, money, and time trying to solve this position, and here we are again, uncertainty, second guessing, and another potential QB controversy brewing. But maybe, just maybe, Sanders is the guy who finally breaks the cycle. There's already chemistry building. Just watch how Myles Garrett lights up around Shador. Watch the energy shift. That matters. Football is a momentum sport, and the Browns need a spark. Sanders offers that, not just because he's flashy, not just because he's marketable, but because he works. He puts in the hours. He's not partying like Johnny Manziel. He's grinding like a professional. That's the difference. That's why there's hope. Now, if you're skeptical, I get it. You've seen hype before. You've seen names come in with swagger and leave without results. But this feels different. Sanders isn't coming in with a sense of entitlement. He's earning it. And if you ask around the locker room, there's a sense that when he gets a shot, he's going to make the most of it. Until then, though, we're left wondering how long the leash is for Dillon Gabriel. Because right now, defenses know what's coming. They're daring him to throw. They're keying in on the run. And unless something changes, the offense is going to continue to sputter. Fans want fireworks. They want something to believe in. And no matter what the analytics say, football is still a game of belief. Players have to believe in the guy under center. Fans have to believe the coaches are putting the best product on the field. Right now, neither feels completely true. So what's next? That's what makes this week so pivotal. A win against the Patriots changes the conversation. Suddenly, the Browns are surging. Suddenly, a playoff push doesn't feel like a pipe dream. But a loss? That could be the moment this coaching staff has to make a decision. Do you stick with what's safe? Or do you roll the dice on the guy who might just be the future? And if you're Stefanski, that decision might just determine your future too. Another year without quarterback progress? Another year where the offense is the weak link? Fans won't tolerate it. The front office won't either. The time to act is now. So Browns fans, if you want to be the first to know when Shador gets the call, when trades go down, and when the next bombshell drops, make sure you're subscribed right now. Hit that like button if you believe Shador should be the starter, and click the video on the screen for the latest on the Browns trade rumors. All the big stories, all the real talk, you're only going to get it here.